silence my phone real quick. Shalom, shalom, Israel. How y'all doing? Or how are you doing? It's all good. We're going to get these classes packed again. But, shalom, Israel. Thanks for tuning in to another Tuesday class. I'm tonight's teacher, Yashamai, and to my left,
Shmarya.
My brother right here, all praises. We got a lesson for you tonight. We're going to jump right into it. But before we start, just want to encourage everybody to please subscribe, like, and share all the content that we give you. The YouTube channel, subscribe to that. The Facebook page, like and share that as well. Tonight's lesson is called From Hebrew to Hip Hop, right? A couple of things I want to touch on. And it's not going to be no long lesson, but the things that we really endure in this captivity is crazy when you really just take the time to sit back and think about it. You know, that's one of the things that Esau does to keep our people's minds off of captivity is that we constantly have something in our minds. We constantly have noise in our surroundings. We never have that time just to truly and think. Whether we're on our phones, all the information your brain's processing because you constantly scrolling and scrolling. You never have that time just to relax. If it's not that, you're at home, the kids going crazy. You occupying yourself with movies, TV shows. But when you really get a chance to just look at what we go through, it's mind-boggling. It's crazy. And it lets you know that the scriptures are real, right? So we're going to open up. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. The famous book of Deuteronomy. And let's read verse 53 and 54.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 53. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and thy daughters, which the Lord thy God hath given thee, in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee.
So hold on, let's backtrack just a little bit. Let's go up to verse 15. For those who aren't familiar with what's going on in this chapter of Deuteronomy, this is where the Most High listed out all the curses and all the bad things our people would suffer from if we did not keep his commandments. So read that verse 15 real quick.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So all these things will come upon our people, and that's just not all. It said it would overtake us. Meaning it would be so overwhelming, you had no other choice but to acknowledge that we were being cursed by the Most High. Okay, so drop back and read that verse 53 again.
Verse 53, and thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy God hath given thee, in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee.
Now, you got a lot of people who will take that literal and say, we were eating our children. Now, I'm not even going to sit here and say that that's probably never happened in Israel's history, right? Talking about when we get in siege and when we're on the run. But what it's really referring to is how we would be destroying one another. How we would be eating the fruit of our own body. We would destroy everything that would come from us, our people, our young ones, our old ones, right? Go ahead.
Verse 54, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate.
And then it's about to detail exactly what that looks like as far as destroying our own people. It says that the brother that was once tender and delicate among us, go ahead.
His eye shall be evil toward his brother.
His eye would now be evil toward his brother, another person of his nation. Go ahead.
And toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his brethren, which he shall lead. The remnant of his children, which he shall lead.
Now, this scripture single-handedly points out a lot of issues that goes on amongst the black and brown communities. We like to pinpoint gangbanging because that's something that we suffer from on a large scale, right? Our brothers having an evil eye towards one another. But it goes deeper than just gangbanging. And when I see my brother, I want to beat him up or I want to rob him or shoot him. It goes deeper than that. It says, once we had a tender eye towards one another. We was loving and compassionate towards one another. Shalom, brother. Now it's just all bad. It's hostile, uncomfortable environments when you see another brother of your nation. Go ahead after that.
Verse 55.
54 again? After the tender and delicate.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
So towards the brother, right? Go ahead.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
And towards the women of our nation. This is how you destroy a nation. Go ahead.
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Which he shall leave. Something that we struggle with in our community, whether it be by choice, right? The man just says, you know what? I'm done with this relationship and everything that comes with it. I'm leaving you and the kids. Or what we see our people protesting for right now. Brothers getting shot down in the street, lives being taken. Most High said, this is how your communities, your nation would be destroyed. Let's go to Psalm chapter 83. So you're saying, what that got to do with the title of the lesson? It has everything to do with it. And as we continue to go on, you'll see what I mean. Because one thing our people have to understand is that there's a group of people on this earth who rules this earth, who knows exactly who we are. And with that, they do everything in their power to make sure that we stay at the bottom. Just take a look at the world. Why is there no huge interest, right, in the people of Afghanistan? The war is what really put the highlight on that area over there. But the whole world is not looking at Afghanistan. There's nothing too crazy over there that the people's worried about. I don't see too many people worried about the Vietnamese people. But the whole world seems to be focused on what black and Hispanic people are doing here in the Americas. Mm-hmm. It's a reason for that. Go ahead. Start at verse 1.
Psalm chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace. And be not still, O God.
Look what one of the prophets is pleading to the Most High for.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
He said, look, the enemies of the Most High, which is the enemies of our people, they're making a tumult, right? Go ahead.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
All these people who have a hatred, a strong hatred, not only for us, but for our God, have become real prideful. They lifting up their head. They've somehow gotten an advantage over us. Go ahead.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Now here's the part. Because you hear everybody who want to be in the so-called conscious community, they talking about the Illuminati. As if you got to go into all this different esoteric knowledge, and you got to go into the catacombs of America to find these documents of how these Edomites is meeting up and doing wickedness. Man, the scriptures been put the spotlight on them. Most High said, yo, enemies. Because you let it be to the people in our communities. They try to, reptilians, man, Most High said, no. It's different nations on this earth who hate you. It's not that deep. Right? Mm-hmm. Different nations on this earth who hate us, who do what?
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They take crafty counsel against our people. When blacks and Latinos is just trying to kick it and we getting high, we partying, we at the club, these people who rule the world are at huge meetings, right? Discussing and planning agendas on how they're going to keep us down. Go ahead.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And they consulted against us. Every single one of them. They may not even be in the best of a relationship status with one another, but they come together to be against us. The African man, he may not even like the Arab man, but guess what? He's going to come together to be against us, so-called blacks and Latinos, the Israelites. This is what we're dealing with. Our people have to understand that. Go ahead.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Check that out. Now remember, the scripture that the Most High had already provided to us in Deuteronomy, he said, look, if you don't keep my commandments, there's certain things that's going to happen that's going to destroy your nation. And that's exactly what these people consult about. They game planning on, hey, we need to make sure that these Israelites never come into power. And even more than that, read.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That the name of Israel won't even be in the mind of an Israelite. Go test and prove it for yourself. Go outside and ask your fellow neighbor, your black or Latino man, what's your nationality? You're going to get everything under the sun but an Israelite. You're going to get black, African American, Latino, Hispanic, Guatemalan, literally everything. The list goes on and on and on and on. And you say Israelite, and they're going to look at you like you crazy. So is it safe to say that when the Most High said if we don't keep his commandments and he's going to curse us, that it's a true thing? Again, we got to understand we got enemies. So it said, look, they come together and make sure that the name of Israel is no more in remembrance, right? Go ahead.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
And that's the thing that our people have to understand. For all the protesting and everything that's going on, at the end of the day, they are confederate against us. Kneeling and all of that is cool, but what real action is coming from that? If I know that all I had to do was kneel down to the peasants in my kingdom to appease them, and I still get to be king, and they still get to be peasants, I would do it too. It's not hurting them cops to be out there taking a kneel with us because they still finna get away with shooting us, locking us up unjustly, and everything else that goes on with our people when we get mistreated here in America. Our people gotta understand it. Let's get to the book of Exodus 23.
Mind if I throw something in real quick?
Come on, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's crazy because with all the protests and everything, it's Stockholm Syndrome, which is where it's actually a mental illness, but it's where you have this earnest desire to protect your oppressor. And so many of our people have that where, I mean, you see people out there, they go and they hug the police. There was this lady, it went viral, she's praying for them. How is it that these people have oppressed us, murdered us, harassed us, tased, mace, rubber bullet, everything, and then we like, but we forgive you, but I want to see you in heaven, in the kingdom. They owe you an apology. They owe you a hell of a lot more than an apology. But our people are so set on you have to forgive, you have to move on, you have to forgive them in order to be forgiven. But and that goes into Christianity. But that's a totally different camera.
Exactly. But what you said though is real, man. That Stockholm Syndrome is when, and I believe the actual definition is, you know, when someone who has been taken into captivity or the captive just, you know, builds this strong desire to protect the oppressor. And it's crazy because it's exactly what you see going on with our people. The brother's example along with countless others. It's ridiculous. So the thing is, right, how does all this tie in? Everyone's heard of the Willie Lynch letter, right? Willie Lynch syndrome, Willie Lynch letter. The agenda that was set out said, look, if you deal with these people, which I'm talking about the Israelites, so-called blacks and Latinos, you deal with them this way, as it is written, you'll be able to control them for decades, millenniums, right? In that, it pinpoints and said, look, you got a lighter-skinned slave, put him against the darker-skinned slave. Get in his ear, tell him that he's better than the other, smarter, stronger. You got two sisters, one got longer hair, put her against the sister that got shorter hair. If this brother came from the west side of the plantation, put him against the brother on the east side of the plantation, right? All these different things that sowed these seeds of doubt and corruption within our nation, we seen that fully blossom. And one of the coldest scriptures, you know, in Deuteronomy is that it said he will put yokes of iron upon our necks until he has destroyed us. We are completely destroyed, which is why we don't have those yokes of iron on our neck anymore. We're done for. As the book of Isaiah says, he says, for Israel is ruined. We are completely destroyed. So the thing is now, right, you take off the chains, you stop the whippings. What do you do to continue to not only keep them oppressed, but make your job easier? You allow them to destroy themselves. We're going to see throughout this lesson how powerful music can be and why it is that our oppressors took the approach with music like they did. Because what they did with music was they weaponized it. They made it worse than crack. Because now it's free. Get you free Obama phone, get you that free app of YouTube, free app of Spotify, and you just can be doped up all day, 7 days a week. This is what we're dealing with. So go to the book of Exodus and get chapter 23 and verse 2. Because here's the thing. When you're dealing with the essence and the spirituality of music, because music is spiritual just as much as it is carnal. Music is here to uplift and inspire, right? You going through something, you can listen to a song to put you in a whole better mood. Just like that. But the thing is, after all that upliftment and all that inspiration, what do you do with it? Well, this scripture is going to show what our people decide to do with those different spirits, right? Go ahead.
Exodus 23:2.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil.
Uh-huh.
Neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many, to wrest judgment.
It says, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. You see, the thing is, what's being portrayed in the music is wickedness today. And that's exactly what the multitudes of our people decide to follow. Go to the book of Exodus 15. Because here's the proof, right? Get 15 and read verse 3. We always read this scripture.
Exodus chapter 15:3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name.
All praises, right? We always know that. Yeah, the Most High, he's a man of war. But start at verse 1.
Verse 1. Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song.
Hold on. So you had Moses singing a song to the children of Israel, getting them inspired, right? Uplifting them. Go ahead.
This song unto the Lord, and spake, saying, I will sing unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea. The Lord is my strength and song, and he is become my salvation. He is my God, and I will prepare him an habitation, my father's God, and I will exalt him. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name.
Now, what do you think that's going to inspire the children of Israel to do? The right thing. When you facing a multitude of your enemies, you says, you know what? You're going to look left and right. I got my brothers. And most of all, we got the Most High. This is why we doing it. But now, on the other hand, you at a concert of 50,000 people, and you got YG playing. What's that's going to inspire the people to do? Complete wickedness. I ain't even got to go into the lyrics because we all listen to the music. You could be as righteous as you want to be. Hebrews, y'all listen to the worldly music. And it's okay. Because the scriptures talk about it's not what goes into a person that defiles them, but what comes out of you. What you decide to do with that inspiration or whatever it is you being fed. I'm not sitting there saying just wild out and listen to that, but I'm saying if you listen to everybody listen to Marvin Gaye. He's worldly, right? Kirk Franklin, he's worldly. He makes some great music, though. It is what it is. But the thing is, Esau has found a way to allow our people to spread the wickedness like no other way before. Because the world has been wicked. Remember, it got destroyed during the time of Noah. But the thing is, during our time period, he said it's going to be worse than the days of Noah. We living in Babylon, Egypt, everything. Sodom and Gomorrah, we got all of this in one whop. And the thing is, we become so desensitized to it. I mean, when you can go on TikTok and all these different social media platforms and see 5-year-old, 6-year-old girls twerking to the music that's being made and pushed out there. Because that's the thing. It's not like the music's just being uploaded and you have to find it. You can wake up and just start scrolling and you got the advertisements putting it in your face. Here, take this, eat this. And we fall susceptible to it. Destroying our people. And it's not a conversation where like, oh, this could be something that's hurting us. It's a fact. The fact that in the last, I believe, 5 or 6 years, what's been the most popular genre of music? Not just hip-hop, because hip-hop is really outdated, honestly. That's like the 80s and 90s you're dealing with hip-hop. Trap music. Brothers selling drugs, pimping hoes, sex. That's everything that comes along with being in the trap. And that's what's being pushed out there. And the thing is, with Israel, we make it so tasteful, we got the other nations doing it. White boys who ain't never stepped foot in the trap, they making trap music.
Throwing up gangs.
Asians making trap music. What you know about that? Actually, get that scripture real quick. It's where it said
Former of all things.
No, that's in Jeremiah. Where is it? I think I wrote it down. Pretty much it said, actually, Jeremiah 4:22. Because that's the craziest part dealing with our people. We're so engulfed with this wickedness. We own this wickedness, right? You got brothers said, man, if I'm going to do it all the way. We take that, put that energy out there and the world loves it. Read that.
Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 22.
Uh-huh.
For my people is foolish.
Our people is foolish. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. The things that is so bad for us. You got brothers who are victims of all the different drugs that they abuse. Putting that energy out there and got our young brothers and sisters doing those same exact drugs, dying. You got brothers who don't even do the type of drugs that they rap about. But they're so idolized in the eyes of our youth that they go out and do them. Future, he always talking about the lean and the mollies and the perks. He don't do none of that. He smoke weed at best. But has our people out here doing it. Right? Go ahead.
For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are Scottish children. And they have none understanding.
It says our people have none understanding. None. The fact that we poison ourselves because it looks cool is ridiculous. Because the music is portraying a certain lifestyle. Brothers who don't have the means to live that lifestyle will go broke just to look like they live in it. The scripture said we have none understanding. Go ahead.
They have none understanding. They are wise to do evil.
It said in Israel, man, we so crafty. We wise to do evil. And can't nobody else make killing your people sound better than Israel. Hitler did it, and he's the devil. But Future do it, and he hard as hell. Hitler's the devil because he killed his people, right? But our entertainers, they do it. And they're idolized. That's the power of being the chosen people. That's the power. So Most High said, man, we're wise to do evil. It's horrible out here. But because of who's doing it, it's okay. The pass is given. But that's not good. And that's why all praise be to the Most High. He's given his spirit to all those who are willing to take it. And is out here teaching our people what's the right thing to do. Right? Let's go to
I'm going to finish that up.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says, but to do good, they have no knowledge.
It says to do the right thing, our people ain't got no understanding, no type of knowledge. I mean, you got brothers who then turned a rock into a mountain. But you tell him why eating pork is bad, and he just can't seem to figure that out. Let's go to 2 Maccabees. So with everything that comes along with that, right? Because like I said, you got to understand something. It's an agenda that's being pushed. It's a common debate. The old heads versus the young heads when it comes to the music, right? You watch certain radio shows, and you got people like Ebro. He's considered one of the old heads. He's not even that old. But he has a certain respect for the older music. Then you got people like Lil Uzi Vert who will go on there being called the young head and how they're degrading the music. Because remember, when everything first started up, this hip-hop and true rap, it was about community upliftment, about knowledge, KRS-One, right? Knowledge reigns supreme. Public Enemy. Like, we was letting our people know what was going on, even like down to the Ice Cubes, letting us know how this system is not for us. You've always had those in the scriptures who will be writing things down, different poems, different hymns about what was going on with our people. Lamentations is a sad poem. Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, what's happened to us? It's no different what you see going on right now. But the thing is, how it's been turned to be a weapon against our people. Because back then, people would come together, hear that type of music, want to come together, love one another, do the right thing, bond, and then stand against those who come against us. But today, the music makes us more divided than ever. You want to be on your own solo tip. You want to get all the money in the world, right, and keep it for you and yourself. You want to spend your money on hookers, and white girls don't look good, so who you going to go for? Your own people. You want to see them in G-strings and thongs sliding down the pole. And then, you know what, when you start running low on that money, now you got to buy some drugs so you can start selling it to keep it up. Like, this is what goes on with the music that's being given to our people. Getting all the money, not helping your community, you move out the hood, which isn't necessarily always a bad thing, but you do it just because you want to poop or, shit on your own people. Drive through the hood once a week in your Rolls Royce, knowing people hate you for that because you're not giving back nothing to help your people. That's what we're dealing with. And that's also what goes along with that Willie Lynch letter, that Willie Lynch syndrome, and that agenda that was put out, right? He said, man, Esau says, you know what? This brother got a little bit of talent. He's good at rhyming words. Put him on a pedestal. He's better than the rest of the slaves out here. And if you want to stay on that pedestal, keep rhyming. That's what's going on. Read that 2 Maccabees, chapter 7. Watch this.
7:1?
No, 7 and 5. Because we see instances of how this works as far as when you take our people or our people have a lust to please our enemies, because we know by pleasing our enemies, you're going to be put in a better position. One thing we can't deny is that we are in captivity. So there's certain perks, and I'm not saying it's the best thing, but there's certain perks when you side with your enemy in captivity. They'll put you away from your people and put you in a better state, right? But the thing is, when you're not doing it honorably, because we have instances of our brothers and sisters who was in a state of captivity, who was doing the right thing, keeping the commandments of the Most High, and they got elevated. But what you see is our people do the wrong thing because look at who we're under. We're under the most wicked man on this earth. He has no joy in righteousness. The more wickedness you do, the more he loves you. So that's a no-brainer for our people. I guess I gotta be wicked then, because I ain't clocking in no more 9-to-5s. I refuse to keep driving these buckets. I want the good life, right? Read that, verse 5.
2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 5.
First Maccabees.
Okay.
My bad.
I was wondering where he's about to go with that one. First Maccabees chapter 7, verse 5. There came unto him all the wicked and ungodly men of Israel.
So here's the thing, right? To give you a brief history. You had our people in Greece under the same oppressor, this God-forsaken white man. And our people has finally had enough to where he said, you know what? We need to come back to keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Look at how the heathen is treating us. Ever since we stopped keeping the commandments, we've been getting dealt with harshly by the Most High. We got to do something about this, right? So what do you have? The coons, those who hate to do the right thing, banding together to come against those who want to do the right thing. Go ahead.
There came unto him all the wicked and ungodly men of Israel, having alchemists who were desirous to be high priests for their captain.
Now here's the thing. Out of all the multitude of those wicked Israelites who was going to the king, you had one who was above the rest. He said, you know what? I want it. I want it more than the rest of them. I want to be high priest. That's a very high position in the nation of Israel. I want to be high priest. He was desirous of it. If you know anything about the priesthood, you can't desire to be a high priest. You either are or you're not. That's not anything like, oh, let me get 10,000 signatures and y'all put me in this position. Let's vote. That's not how it worked. But he was desirous of that position, right? Go ahead.
And they accused the people to the king, saying, Judas and his brethren have slain all thy friends and driven us out of our own land.
Drop down and read verse 9.
Verse 9.
So this is after the king had that conversation with him, right? Go ahead.
And him he sat with that wicked alchemist, whom he made high priest.
Now he got made that high priest. Go ahead.
And commanded that he should take vengeance of the children of Israel.
This is exactly what happens when you go into those CEO meetings with Rostrum Records, Atlantic Records. They take you up to the top floor of those buildings, and they put that contract in front of you. You want to be the man? Here you go. Now you got to take vengeance upon your people because you can't rap about the right thing. If you want to be successful in this kingdom of America, you have to be wicked. That's why it said in Revelations, it says if you want to, all those who join hands with America, it said that they laid down and committed fornication with her. That's the only way you get ahead in America. There's not one upright individual in America who is a billionaire, millionaire. You have to be a shark. All the CEOs and top people of these companies, like the Fortune 500 companies, everything, they all got one thing in common, I promise you, because I had a conversation with this guy a couple years ago who was like, I guess family members with someone who was real successful, right? one thing they all had in common, they all read this one book, The 48 Laws of Power. And that book there has some great information, but it shows you how to get above in all the wrong ways. How to use deception to get your way to the top, how to create a tragedy in the midst of you so you can kind of like escape. Like, it's really a crazy book, and the fact that they all have this in a library just goes to show what type of person you have to be. It's the same thing that you saw happen in the Maccabees. Exactly. It's the same thing. You want to be the man? That comes with a price. In this world, under this nation. Our people got to understand that, because you can't sit here and act like, because this is how cold it is, right? The things that we're supposed to be worried about, dealing with things like the World Health Organization, right? As far as like literally like what's best for the people of the earth. The politicians who are supposed to be doing things in the best interest of the people, your scientists, your historians, like all these people is like, you would think like, man, like those are the people we should really be paying attention to. But no, we pay attention to rappers, dancers. These are our celebrities and who we look to. Preachers, like, our people got to connect those dots. It's a reason why we think that way. It's a reason why we look at these men like it just don't get no greater than that. Exactly. And really the idolizing is not the biggest issue, because you can idolize someone righteously. It's like, man, oh, you know, I really look up to that brother. He's a righteous man. The way he walks, man, it makes me want to do the right thing. Man, all praises for someone like that. But the fact that you want to be like this person, because, man, look at all the women that he gets. Man, he throwing hella money in that strip club. All he got to do is just open his mouth and women's throwing himself out. Man, that's the...
So scriptures say covet the best gifts.
Exactly. But our people covet the worst and the most wicked. That's what we dealing with. Esau said, man, look, you want to be that man, you got to pay to play. Sign that contract, you're gonna sell your soul, because that's the thing. You ain't even got to give up your cheeks to sell your soul. The fact that you rapping about what you rapping about, and you know that you have the eyes and ears of the youth, and they're going to follow whatever it is you say, and you telling them the wrong thing to do, you done sold out. That's what we dealing with. Let's go to the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 16. So we can clearly see the wrong way to go about it. But the Most High, it's never like he shied away from it. He said, look, I see what they got going on, but there's still a way that you can do it in uprightness. Go ahead.
Colossians 3 and 16, let the word of Christ dwell in you richly in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another. Wait, he says what? Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly in all wisdom. Teaching. The Most High is letting us know you can teach through your music. You would be an idiot to not believe that the playlist that you have, the songs that you have, and is not teaching you something. Most High's wisdom reigns supreme. If he said you can teach in music in a righteous way, why wouldn't you be able to do it in a wicked way? Go ahead. Teaching and admonishing one another.
Most High said, you know what? When your brothers is tripping, you can even put it in a song, getting on them. Loving your brother because you don't want to see them sin. I'm not saying make a diss track where you just all out like no Nas Ether type stuff. But if you saying, hey, bruh, these are the things you doing, but it's going off according to the scripts. This is what you need to be doing. Most High said all praises for that. Being disingenuous. All praises for the Most High, allowing brothers to make righteous music, man. You got brothers in the truth making righteous music for Israel to live by. Because we live by these words. When we put in these scriptures and these testimonies in these songs, we live by this. We not giving you something so you can feel good and we not living it. We not future. We ain't talking about no drugs we ain't doing. We ain't talking about no laws that we ain't keeping. We keeping this. We doing this. Got brothers like myself making music. Brothers like Tazayawan. We got Selah Soul making music for the sisters. We got RG Flex. We got the young brothers and sisters making music for their peers. Man, all praise be to the Most High for that. Most High said, this is what we got to get back on, though, teaching our people. rebuking them or admonishing them, teaching them how to stop their wickedness. Put it in music, because that's how your people going to respond. Okay. We're a very musical people. How'd you learn your ABCs? Oh, yeah, it was a little rhyme, right? You had that cadence. A, B, C, D. We're a musical people. That music is spiritual. And that's why they put it on the most spiritual people on this earth. They flood us with it. But go ahead.
Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing with grace in your hearts to the Lord.
Because like I said, that's the right way to do it. The thing is, when you do it the wrong way, which is exactly what we suffer from today, that's where all the self-hate comes from, the envy of our own people, and the self-destruction. That's what we suffer from when we don't do this in righteousness. We do it in wickedness, and we see it just continues to divide and divide our nation. But like I said, all praise be to the Most High. All that's flipping around. You got some of the most revered rappers in our community, the most revered celebrities in our communities, people like Kendrick Lamar. He's putting the message out there. Hey, we the Israelites. He may not have it all figured out, but the fact that the Most High put it on to put that energy out there, we the Israelites. Don't call me black no more. We got to keep these commandments. Most High said we curse because we don't. All praises. We just got to keep it going. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31. So the thing is, especially with our youth, we have to teach them, right? And it's not even just so much the youth, because you could be a grown man, yet still a little kid, mentally. So many of our people who are our peers, right? Ages 18 to like 27, they striving to be these rap stars. We have to show them why that's not the route in this world, right? Read that.
Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
Most High said, don't envy the oppressor. That's that Willie Lynch letter. Because he took a couple of our brothers and made it seem like they live in the best life possible. Most High said, for one, it's temporary. This ain't your rest. And for two, the way you went about getting all of that is going to cost you your soul. They don't never put that part out. He said, don't envy that. Go ahead.
Envy not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
And the thing is, you can't choose none of his ways because, again, remember, these nations are confederate against us. He's not going to give you anything to put you in a better position than himself. Y'all remember when LeBron came to L.A.? Oh, man, that was woo! L.A. about to get rings. Damn, you seen his contract? How much was he getting paid? Like $260 million?
Something outrageous.
The fact that someone's able to pay him that much should let you know that they would never put you in a position to truly have power on this earth. Because there's a difference between money and power. And a man who understands both is a dangerous person. You can have all the money you want and no power. That's why Esau don't have no problem giving it to you. Here you go. But that's what we dealing with. And the thing is, you even got certain Israelites that's still chasing that, like, as if they going to get up in Hollywood and they going to just, man, I'm going to teach this truth. And you crazy. You teaching this word is what's bringing this kingdom down, and they already know who you are. You just found out, homie. They been new. You think they going to let you up in there and you just going to, all praise be to the Most High, and we keeping these commandments? I bet you that's going to slowly dwindle down, and then you going to phase out. We ain't even going to hear about you no more. That's what happens. They push you out.
You lay down, you either assimilate or you get put out.
Period. So, brothers, let's not strive for that, man. Let's do this for the Most High. We can be the biggest rap stars in the kingdom. I remember one of our old teachers here. He said, "Man, you don't think Christ could rap? He walking on water. You don't think he had bars? Like." He said he could have been whoever he wanted to on this earth, but he made that sacrifice for his people. We got to do the same thing.
Had all that knowledge.
Man.
Could have easily been the ladies' man.
The man.
He could have been beyond what we can even think. You know Jake said had women. I mean, the Jake had all that knowledge, and a lot of people, especially when women, they're looking for. There was a documentary that I watched about how relationships are formulated. I think it's on Netflix. I believe I watched it on Netflix, and it was talking about how women typically choose men that they see, whether they can realize it within themselves or not, that they see as reliable. They're hunters. They're men that are capable. They're reliable, and in certain societies, women would lie with as many men as possible because they couldn't determine who the father was. But the more men that father had to try and raise that child, the better of a chance it had of surviving. And so it just, I mean, you could have done anything and everything. He could have been anybody that he wanted to be, but he made a sacrifice. But so many of our people sell out.
And that's the shame in it, because you got somebody who's subpar, right? People like Lil Uzi Vert, like, dude, you're trash. Lil Pump, you're horrible. Horrible. Don't even have the skills to really like boast, and you selling out. When we dealing with our king who had everything, and he put that all to the side to make sure we was good. Shameful. But that's why the Most High said, look, man, don't chase after the envy, what your oppressors is giving you. Don't envy that. And read the rest of that.
And choose none of his ways.
Don't choose none of his ways, because they're not for you. It's only against you. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 44. Because here's the thing. It's a perception that people want to live by. Like, man, you know what? Because, like, I'm not going to lie, especially as a man, it might be a little bit different for a woman, but as a man, that's always in the back of your thought, like, I don't want to leave this earth without, like, leaving my mark, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. And the scriptures that we're about to read talk about that, how by doing the right thing, you're going to leave a mark. And the thing is, sometimes we're just so short-sighted, we can only see at the most next week, right? You look at people like the Black Panthers. The Panthers didn't know that they would win in history like they did back then, right? They wasn't thinking about that. So how it is, we out here every Saturday giving our hearts and minds to the people. We're not thinking how it's going to be looked at 60 years from now, even if we get that far. But the fact that what we're doing is really going to, give us the world again, is huge. We got to stop looking so short-sighted. Look further. What we're doing is historic. Teaching these classes is historic. Being in these classes is historic. Because you got people that say all the time, you really think what you're doing is going to be in the scriptures? Like, our forefathers is in the scriptures. Why wouldn't we be if we're doing what's right? You even had those who was doing that was wrong is still in the scriptures. Everything's being recorded. We making history. Don't sell out. Read that for me. Sirach 44 and verse 1.
Verse 1, let us now praise famous men.
See, you can be famous on this earth. Go ahead.
And our fathers that begat us. The Lord hath wrought great glory by them through his power from the beginning, such as did bear rule in their kingdoms, men renowned for their power, giving counsel by their understanding, and declaring prophecies.
Look at that. Like I said earlier, these are the people you would expect, like, you know what? That seems like a type of person we should be following. This brother has wisdom, knowledge, understanding. He has a kingdom that he rules well. Man, look at his counsel. He's declaring prophecy. Like, that sounds like a man worthy, to be revered. Like, he's a great man. But read on.
Leaders of the people by their counsels and by their knowledge of learning meet for the people.
Meet for the people. Most High said you became a famous person in Israel when you gave the people what was needed, what was appropriate. Are women hearing about how they need to be shaking their ass and brothers how they need to be selling drugs? That's not meat for our people. That's not appropriate. That's not needed. And as big as these stars are, they're not going to be remembered a few decades from now. You know how many little kids don't know of Tupac already? Give it one more generation. We think so short, like, you only going to be remembered for so long when you're doing the wrong thing. Yahweh Shai been dead for a long time. We still talking about him. Moses been dead a long time. We still talking about him. Read on.
Leaders of the people by their counsels and by their knowledge of learning meet for the people, wise and eloquent in their instructions.
But check this out, though. They weren't the only ones who was being renowned or being known for being famous, for doing the right thing. Read on.
Such as formed out musical tunes.
Such as found out musical tunes. How are you a famous musician in Israel? It's talked about. If I'm not mistaken, you had a whole band of trumpet players, the Levites. And they was playing musical notes so beautiful, the Most High came down in the cloud to listen. I forget which book it's in. I remember Kabash showing me that scripture. Go ahead.
And recited verses in writing.
Your poets. Like everything is right here. The Most High is showing you there's nothing in this world that you need when you are the world. You can do it all for yourself. Go ahead.
Rich men furnished with ability, living peaceably in their habitations.
Read.
All these were honored in their generations.
All these people were honored in their generations, and they were righteous. Go ahead.
And were the glory of their times.
Check that out. What times do we live in? The times where it's worse than Noah. I don't want to be glorified in these times for doing the wrong thing.
Man, I mean, you got to be even worse than everybody else.
Exactly.
To remember, man.
That's a hell of a point. As bad as Sodom and Gomorrah was, America snatched the torch. Give me that. Like that video. Give me the video. Man, we can do so much better, y'all, and we doing so much better. I'm so proud of my people when I can go online and I'm seeing just various videos of youth and elderly people talking about keeping these commandments, man. That makes me happy. That makes me happy. Let's go to Sirach. Stay in the same book. Go to chapter 9.
I'm going to say even King David played the harp. Wise man, had instructions.
And that's the thing, too, because, like, when you read on further in that chapter, it talks about, like, there was people who were, like, super great and, like, they passed on as if nothing's ever happened. But he said their memorial lives on forever. You just don't know about it. Wait till we get to the kingdom. And them angels is praising whoever walking down them hallways like, this brother played the saxophone like nobody else. But he was righteous as hell. It's not about us. If the Most High said he's going to give us the crowns, we don't have to chase one from America. We're going to get it from the Most High. Go ahead and read that. 9 and 11.
Sirach chapter 9 and verse 11. Envy not the glory of a sinner.
See that? Go ahead.
For thou knowest not what shall be his end.
And that's the thing that America never teaches you. America don't preach another life. They preach YOLO. You only live once. You better be the man now because you ain't going to be nothing later. That is not the case. As spiritual as our people are, I don't know why we tend to forget that. Because leave it up to our people. We could burn all this sage and whatever, and we know all these different chakras, but you don't know that you're going to be judged in the afterlife? Get real. Was that all of that?
Like verse 12.
What does that say?
Delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in, but remember they shall not go unpunished unto their grave.
So, I mean, that's the thing, you know. Everybody wants to be a basketball player, some type of athlete, or a rap star. That's what's big in our communities. Doctors is lame. Preachers is goofy, right? Even though there's nothing wrong with being a preacher, but in today's world, they shame you for believing in the Bible.
When you truly believe.
Yeah, they shame you. You be trying to pray over the food. You praying? Like, damn, yeah, I am. What's the problem? They try to make you seem like a sucker, like, but then talk about you know, you got some money you trying to spend at the strip club. Oh, man, they your best friend. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 5 and verse 31. You know, and that's the thing. Is our people are a spiritual people, and there's certain, you know, I don't even know what to call it. I guess it's like a certain law that, like, all successful people in this world, you know, they believe it. It's if you can think it, you can achieve it. And that's what most people, you hear them talk about, oh, I'm putting it out into the universe, and I know it's going to come back to me. They say all those type of things, right? But in its true essence is if you can think it, you can achieve it. That's Esau's motto. He said, you know what? He looked up at the moon every single night. I'm going to get there. Whether or not he did, these are the things he thinks of. And you see in the type of position it put himself on this earth. He said, you know what? If I'm going to be wicked, I'm going to be the wicked. Like, and he put himself in that position. So the thing is, it's not even like it's the hardest thing to attain. You just have to really want it. And that goes for wicked positions in this earth and also righteous positions when it comes to the kingdom. How bad do you want it? Think it, achieve it. And that's what they push on our people, right? Follow your dreams. It's all the same motto. They dress it up differently. So the thing is, they don't even allow our people to dream. They give you options as if it's a dream. Since a kid, you're told, man, you can be whatever you want to be. So why do we only want to be athletes and rappers? Because that's what they push to us. These are your options, nigga. School, jail, or fame. Which one? Like, that's it.
Do you want to run the ball or do you want to dribble the ball?
Right. Like, that's it. You're giving your options.
Damn.
So the thing is, the Most High is like, look, dude, carve out that new lane. Do what's right. Keep these commandments. You're going to tear all of that down. The scripture said that the brothers who was doing the work of the Most High was turning the world upside down. People was fearful when they was going into their towns. Because here's the thing. You got to realize, like I talked about earlier, there's a difference between power and money, right? Y'all remember like 2 weeks ago, T.I. was talking about we should have a blackout? We should have a blackout day? Who's that? It's UPS? Oh, okay. I was going to say, you can't be knocking like that in today's
I'm
time.
about to say, man. That was my first instinct. I started checking pockets. Like, hold on. What weaponry do I have?
Hold on. Wrong days to be knocking like that in L.A., homie. All right. All praises.
He must have had a bad day.
Man.
So I'm ready to go home. That's that oppression. Hey, oppression make it the wise man mad.
Real talk.
You sitting there slaving every day. You got out here in the riots, out here in all the tribulation of our people, and you still got to work. Now they, this is just a little side note. They cutting the unemployment. They trying to get the back to work bonus. If you get back to work, I'll treat you nice.
Man.
I'll throw extra 100, 200 if you can just show me that you actually went back. Because we the ones that keeping this kingdom going.
Exactly.
No matter what we do, we keep the kingdom going. You look in construction, it's all 10 tribes. Like, you have no idea. You want to know where all the 10 tribes are, they are all in construction. Like, literally, we build this country, we maintain this country. We keep this country entertained. Everybody was tripping about what during the coronavirus? Wasn't nobody like, I can't get water. Oh, my God, we're going to die. They was like, I can't go shop.
Yep.
I can't go to the ball game. I can't believe this. You have to reopen the country because they want to see niggas run the ball.
Yeah.
They want to see our entertainment. We are a herd, and everything that the leaders of the herd are doing. So what do you do when you have a herd and you see the people operate off a herd mentality? You start training Judas goats. Lead them to the slaughterhouse. I'll save you right before the slaughter happens. You'll be all right, but you lead the rest of them the way that I told you to go, and you'll be all right. You have our people like, what's this? Candace Owens coming out. Not my martyr. Then she recently tweeted, oh, I was wrong about George Floyd. He didn't have 7 convictions. He had 9. Well, you got to sell out. Yeah. But the scripture saying Maccabees, they kept the customs of their oppressors earnestly.
Yep.
Like you say, he only had to keep the ball and chain around our neck until he destroyed us. It's like if you ever train a dog. Once you get them in check, they don't really challenge because they've already been conditioned. What was it? The Russian scientist, he had a dog in a cage, and every time it left, it got zapped. And eventually, he'd open the cage and took the collar off, but the dog was already conditioned. If I leave, I get hurt. I'm not going to leave anymore. So you do that to Negroes and Latinos enough, you oppress them, put them through tribulation, you condition them. We're not going nowhere because niggas don't want to go nowhere. The same way we came out of Egypt, and we was like, man, we ain't even got no cucumbers out here.
Facts.
We get conditioned to the land.
Facts.
To the point where you don't even want to fight back. You smoke your weed, you do your little lean, you listen to your music, you have your fun. As long as you can continue that cycle, as long as you have those outlets and that catharsis, you ain't gonna rebel against America. Because I'm comfortable here.
And you know what? Even if things do get a little heated, what we gonna do? Please just treat us a little bit better.
That's peace. It's all we want.
We ain't trying to go nowhere. Just treat us a little bit better. Because that's what you do when you vote and you march. You're asking, Massa, just give me a bigger room in your house. Can I have a 3-hour work day instead of an 8-hour work day? That's all you're doing when you vote and march. So, you know, and that's the point I was getting to. Like the brother said, you know, we make this place what it is. When the apostles was going into certain towns, and it said that these are the dudes who was turning the world upside down, I was, you know, equating that to power and to money, right? Imagine here it is, right? Farrakhan was able to call 1 million people to come together. And you got brothers sitting there saying, we need a blackout, right? No purchasing on this day. Imagine if us two brothers right here, between the both of us, we had enough power to call together 5 million people who was going to keep all the Sabbaths for a year. That's going to hurt a lot of economies. Mm-hmm. That's why they said these are the men who's turning the world upside down. When these men came into this town teaching these people, now my business is getting ready to go out because nobody shops. They're not buying these meats no more from my deli. I'm going out of business. Like, that's the type of power we have through righteousness. Give me Jeremiah 5:31. So the thing is, you know, our people, we live in wickedly. Hell, death, destruction, all that's placed before us. And this is what the Most High says about it, right? Concerning our people. Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 31. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means.
See, if they do everything they want to, they want to. Not what the Most High said to do, not what's best for the people. They do what they want to. Go ahead.
And my people love to have it so.
They love to have it this way. We prefer it. Please give me the worst thing for me. Like, man, I want that brand new car. I know I'm going to be paying $900 for a Honda Civic every month, but man, let me get it. Credit's horrible, but I just want to, man, I want to look like I'm cool.
On the bus stop in Gucci.
Gucci'd and Jordan'd out.
But on the bus.
This is the lifestyle our people prefer. It says we love to have it so. Go ahead.
And what will ye do in the end thereof?
Most High is saying, look, what's your hope? Your only hope is to come back to these commandments. Give me Wisdom of Solomon 15 and 12. That's our only hope, y'all. So-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, our only hope of getting out of this oppression is by keeping the commandments of the Most High God. As angry and as frustrated I know we all are, this marching and this looting, that's not going to help. Because give it a couple more months. When it's time for you to buy them Christmas presents, you're going to give all that money back that you didn't took away from these businesses. Christmas, Halloween's coming, Easter next year, Thanksgiving, we giving it right back. The only true solution is to stand by one another in righteousness and keep these commandments. Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 15 and verse 12. But they counted our life for a pastime.
And that's exactly what the brother said. Look, they just want to be entertained. Dance, sing. I remember I was watching one of Mike Epps' comedies, man. He was like, man, I hate going out to public. People come up to me and be like, hey, you Mike Epps? He'd be like, yeah. He said, man, say something funny. He said, nigga, you say something funny. Like, I'm a man. Like, I'm not just a joke. Like, I don't walk around just to entertain. That's my job. But the fact that that's how they look at us. They don't see an intelligent human being. They see a basketball player. Tell people my name, right? My government name. Oh, like the basketball player? Yeah, like the basketball player. Because you know my name. You don't know my name? Oh, wow. Okay.
So, well, I ain't gonna give it to you.
I don't know who'll be watching these.
But
I got a basketball player's name, a famous one. So when I tell them, they be like, no, but close. But when I tell people on the phone, like, yeah, my name's such and such. Oh, like the basketball player. Like, man, you think that's the only? You said what?
Them knockoff shoes.
Knockoff, he go put it up there.
that just goes to show that we're a commodity.
There you go.
Yeah.
The people can't hear it though, but yep.
Best thing you are is just a commodity, just an extension of whatever it is that's popular. You're going to be the next so-and-so. You're going to be the next so-and-so. Like, all it is just money.
Yep.
And all it is just entertainment. And that's why they count your life a pastime. The best thing you could be as a nigga is a ball player.
Yep.
The best thing that you could be is entertainment. That's the best thing that you can be in America, your whole life. And that's why it's crazy, because people get mad at athletes for getting injured. He worthless. ACL tore. Like, my bad, my knee blew out. Who knew? How did I know that today was going to be the day that I was going to get injured? And all they care about is the fact that you can't play no more. Forget how your life is going to go. Forget how it's going to affect your contract. Forget how your family's going to be affected or whether or not you're going to be able to walk ever again. This nigga is going to mess up my team.
Yeah. The cold part is we didn't bought so into it. We be upset too. Damn, how you gonna? They be like, we ain't gonna get a ring. Like, bro, that is not your ring.
Where your ring coming from?
We not getting no ring now. Telling you, we didn't bought into the foolishness too. But read that.
15 and 12, Wisdom of Solomon. But they counted our life a pastime and our time here a market for gain.
That's what they look at us as. Gain. You know what? I'm pretty sure if I recruit him, I can get some more money. That's what our lives are to our enemies, y'all. Blacks and Latinos. That's what we're worth here. Entertainment and money. Go ahead.
For they say we must be getting every way.
They said, I got to get it every single way. Go ahead.
Though it be by evil means.
Even though I know I'm depriving these people of their culture, even though I know I'm depriving these people of their human rights, I got to get it. And look at the mindset we adopt. I don't care if I got to degrade my women, degrade my brothers, sell crack to them. I got to get it. Again, that's what's being pushed to us. Choose none of his ways. Envy not our oppressor. I got 2 more scriptures and I'm done.
Let me throw this in real quick.
Yep.
Esau, the king, got to get it because all the convictions that were given in the earlier years before weed was legal, Esau put away so many brothers, declared the war on drugs, did everything that they could to put our people into the system and make you that prisoner, that slave, whatever the case may be. He was like, cause why? It ain't that weed is terrible. He said, nigga, I'm not getting a piece. But now that I got it under control, I got the farmers over here all white. They pay their taxes. I got the marijuana cards. I got the tax going. Everybody knows if you go try and buy something that's legal, they're like, oh, man, the prices are ridiculous. But he saw like, nah, y'all can't do nothing without me. It's going on in my backyard, and I'm not getting a cut. Oh, this is a problem. Pass these laws. Hey, look, I need this legislation passed. Anybody caught, man, your second time, I need this sentence up. I need all these things to happen and all these bills passed in legislation until I have control. Hey, I think I got a pretty good handle on it. You can go ahead and let all that slide. Let him out? No, don't let him out. Just, I got it now.
Wild, man. And here's the cool part, too. I forgot that I even took a screenshot of this. I wanted to show y'all some lyrics from one of our brothers who be rapping. And just as that scripture said, you know, they count our life a pastime, you got to understand the mind state that you go into when you go into certain businesses. You know, at this point in time, music is a huge business. So who better than to go to the person who created that business and the way that it's being ran at this point? When you being in these meetings, they telling you what you got to rap about and stuff like that, you are now in a business state of mind. So that means when I look at you, I don't see my brother and my sister. I see potential gain, right? So this is from Lil Baby. He got a new song called The Bigger Picture, where he's out there protesting. How convenient. You shooting the music video out of protest, right? Whatever. But this is his lyrics, right? It says, altercations with the law had a lot of them. People speaking for the people, I'm proud of them. Stick together, we can get it up out of them. I can't lie like I don't rap about killing and dope, but I'm telling my youngins to vote. Not that I'm telling my brothers and sisters not to do that, but go vote, y'all. What the hell? I don't even see how we let stuff like that slide. I can't lie like I don't be talking about killing and dope, but I'm telling my youngins to vote. That's whack. A market for gain. YG did the same thing with the F the police. Convenient. You didn't decide to go out there and march at your people. I ain't seen you since, but the one time you out there, you shooting a music video. Come on now. That's why I be so proud of my brothers and my sisters who really do the right thing for the Most High, because we been out here teaching. We've been out here talking about the injustices with our people. And when in the next couple of weeks continue on and those hashtags start to die out and things happen in your life to where you can't be out there protesting like you would like to, or you get tired, guess what? We still going to be out there teaching. Still be out there advocating for our people. And we still going to be getting hated on. Last 2 scripts. Go to Psalm 94:16. That's why this plead was given. Like, yo, I'm looking for those who's willing to walk this walk with me. Those who are willing to fight this fight with me. Where you at? They always talk about this is a call to action, call to action. Farrakhan was talking about a couple years ago, justice or else. Well, sheesh, it's only gotten worse, and I ain't seen nothing else. Right? Read that.
Psalms chapter 94, verse 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?
That's the question the Most High is asking us. Who's going to rise up for me against those who do evil? Who's really willing and able to put it all on the line to make sure that you're doing the right thing by your people? Go ahead.
Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
That's the thing. We looking for those people. All y'all who tuning in online, I'm sure some of y'all who new to this, you probably keep it on the low till you get your knowledge up before you start sharing everything. Now's the time for you to really lock in. We need y'all. All these different churches, and I'm not saying you got to be with True Nation, because at this point, if you don't know you an Israelite, you must be living under a rock. Everybody knows they're an Israelite. It's countless celebrities. Carmelo Anthony just came out and said he know about the chosen and the 12 tribes of Israel, and the truth is out there. Everybody, yeah, Cube, T.I., it's out there. It's out there. Like, so the thing is, you know, a lot of our people, I understand, is new to you. You're probably a little insecure because you know what, you do battle having friendships with those people who are not interested in doing the right thing. Man, to hell with those friends. Okay. You can make new friends. You can have a new family, because Christ said, my family, my brother, my sister, my mother is those who keep the commandments. You can have a whole new family with people who really would love you and do right by you, right? And the thing is, your light is going to shine so bright, all those who you left behind, some of them going to end up tagging along because they're going to hear about it too. Now is the time. This is the real call to action that the Bible is talking about. Come stand up for the right thing and stand up against those who come against the Most High. Last scripture, Joshua 24:15. This is what it all boils down to, and what a lot of our people need to really make up in their mind. You have to make this decision up in your mind and live it.
Joshua chapter 24, verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve. Whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell.
So look, it said, man, who you want to serve? For as much crap you talk to me about keeping these commandments, you make it sound like God is evil. So if you feel like serving the Most High is evil, tell me who you going to serve then. Don't say you don't know. Be specific. You coming at me like you got the answer. You going to serve the Most High, or you going to serve one of these other false gods? Which one is it? Because go ahead.
But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
Period. That's what it boils down to. Y'all got to make that decision. Draw the line in the sand and make somebody pick. Pick for yourself. What am I going to do? I'm going to keep playing around and only learning online, or am I going to commit myself and find a church that's nearest me?
I got one scripture if you got time.
Go ahead.
One scripture I wanted to bring out because it made me think, like you said, with all the rappers that came out at a convenient time, Isaiah 9:16, we look at those that are charismatic. We look at those that have a face, so to speak, a name, something recognizable, a brand, whatever the case may be, and we look at them for leadership. We look at them for guidance. You have Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 16. That's something that's been a major factor. I can't remember after which brother was killed, because I mean it's been a multitude of Israelites. But Jake said, you know, Snoop Dogg had hopped on Instagram. Like I was like, oh man, what's about to happen? He like, man, all the real ones, get at me. What we gonna do? I'm like, oh, he calling the game makers together. I don't think, of course, not of the Most High, 'cause ain't none of them keeping the commandments. But I'm like, man, they really about to make something pop. We about to experience another contraction. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 9, verse 16. For the leaders of this people caused them to err.
And what did he do? He went out there, and gang went out there, and they said, if today's not about hate, if you got hate in your heart, you got to go. The real ones and all that gangster mentality, Snoop had no problem talking about killing his own. Game got no problem talking about killing his own. But when it came to using that same influence to pull those same young men that you caused to join gangs, that you made it seem cool to murder their own, you ain't a real one till you kill one, you had the same amount of pull and influence to say go against your oppressors, and you said if you mad, you better go home, because we out here for peace. We out here because we ain't about to do nothing but lay down. And you knew that. And you knew that if you say the wrong thing, they'll kill your account. You knew that you got advances on your contract, or you done some things where people is really looking out for you, and you knew that if you step too out of line, Massa is going to whoop that butt. So he said, nah, we can't do too much. But you led the people. You didn't do that on Instagram. You waited till you got in front of all these media outlets with all these microphones, and that's what you told the people. Right when they were ready for the call to arms, you calmed them back down. Who do they always get? Reverend Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton. They always get these people, and they have reputable names. They have faces that we recognize, and for whatever reason, they keep being elected into positions of leadership to lead the people. And what do? Constantly cause the people to err. Not even, I mean, okay, the gang members, I wasn't expecting you to pull out a Bible with the preachers. How you go up there and you didn't bring a Bible? How did you go up there and you didn't quote a scripture? You didn't do anything. I think, what was it, Al Sharpton? Is that the skinny old one? Mm-hmm. He out there dancing. He had the protest, hitting his little two-step, hitting some disco moves. He having a good time. And I'm like, I was like, where's the scriptures? Where's the Bible? Where's going to be the difference in all of the protests and all the ignorance? And in none of that did you even try to deliver any kind of understanding unto the people. Reputable face, reputable name. And what does he cause the people to do?
To err. And they that are led of them are destroyed.
You're destroyed. Because you got all this anger, you got all this hatred, and they telling you that's not of God. So what if he murdered your brother? So what if he killed your brother? What was it? The brother that was killed inside of, the lady that went into the wrong apartment. Hug him. So what if you're a judge and you done sentenced all of your people to maximum sentences and threw the biggest book you can find at them, but when it comes to this poor little white girl, don't you dare judge her like that. You forgive in the name of Jesus. And sure enough, that's what our people are doing. Forgiving, forgetting, praying for our oppressors, allowing all these things to go on, all the war and the anger and pain that's in your heart. Go smoke it out. Go sex it out. Go drink it out. But don't you dare rebel. Yeah. And that's coming from your leaders, not us.
God.
We ain't preaching that message.
God.
Scripture say the saints shall take the kingdom. We ain't existing in this land. We're in this land, not of this land. We exist in this land because we're serving our captivity, and we are constantly trying to find ways where we can disconnect while still being a service to the people. God. Where we can give each other jobs, put each other up on different business tactics, teach each other the 48 laws of power according to what the Most High has given us. God. This is our power, not relying on Esau and not waiting and allowing the white man to give you what he feels he should give you. That's all I want to bring up.
Beautiful message. So, all praises for the lesson, Israel. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. Like I said, this is the real, call to action. You've been watching us for a while. It's about time you make that step and commit. Contact us. If you don't know if there's a school near you, get brothers out to you, whatever the case may be. Let's build, Israel. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.
Shalom.